Hello there and welcome to the Bardo podcast. My name is Marc Salmon. I'm a comedian and a practicing Buddhist who needs a lot of practice. I've also spent much of my working life in adult social care. And this is a podcast about mindfulness, philosophy and comedy, and about learning how to live in the in-between when certainty drops away and things aren't quite resolved yet. Today's episode is a slightly lighter one than the last. It's one for comedy nerds. I'm joined by my old friend Mark Simmons, a one-liner comedian originally from Kent, and genuinely one of the best joke writers to ever do it. We'll be talking about what dying on stage actually means, why jokes fail even when they're good, and how confidence in comedy has much less to do with control than people think. Along the way, we end up talking about the philosophy of laughter, from Freud to Bergson, and why fun might be the most important skill of all. So sit back, relax, and float downstream as we enter the Bardo. Should we kick off?
Yeah.
Let's
kick off. Let's have a fight. First time we met, we were in competition with each other.
Yeah, so we met in Kent.
Yeah.
And we were
doing... Big I Am was the...
How do you remember that?
Because I won it.
Oh,
I won the trophy.
All right.
I haven't got the trophy.
Did you kick the trophy?
No, it wasn't a proper trophy, I don't think, but it did say the Big I Yam. Not the Big I Am, but the Big I Yam.
Yeah, but I don't remember the gig having anything to do with yams in any way whatsoever.
No, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So this was the Kent New Faces Award.
Oh,
do you remember?
Okay, you've remembered that.
Yeah, of course I remember it. It's seared into my memory. I've never let it go.
What do you remember from that night?
So it would have been around about 2008? 4? 6?
No,
2006 maybe. Because for context, we used to do stand-up together for a few years. Yeah. And then I retired.
Yeah.
And was out of the game, and you kept doing it.
Hung up his boots.
I hung up my boots, and then I returned a few years ago, back doing it, and it was a different time.
A triumphant return
to audiences of over 6 people at a time.
Better than before.
Yeah, it's better than before. So what I remember that night was it was me and you and the comedian Kurt Driver, but now known as Stuart Foreman, who's also triumphantly returned.
He's triumphantly returned in Australia.
Yeah, so go check him out.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd been going that long when we met.
No, I was new, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was actually a point, I believe, where I suddenly knew what I was doing. Or not so much that.
What's that like?
Yeah. No, that's not actually true. But I'd actually discovered some structure of how I want to do it.
Yes.
Because I went to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So I think that was Edinburgh 2007 because I watched Stuart Lee's 41st Best Stand-Up Comedian show. Yeah. And it unlocked something in my brain where I was like, oh, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And then I believe that's when I did the competition not long after that because I created a structure of Have You Ever.
Yes, I remember.
Was I doing that?
Yeah, you used to do a thing. I remember it well, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, and you used to basically it was like, I want to be a relatable comedian.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, have you ever been on holiday to Newquay?
So what it was is the first one would be being in a car.
Yes, that was it.
And then I'd do a joke about a car. So it wasn't really anything that they could relate to. It's just a joke. And then the next one would be, have you been born or something like that?
Yeah.
So you get a laugh out of the fact that it's always something that everyone has done.
Yeah.
And then I would go very specific.
Yes.
Have you ever been on holiday to Newquay?
Yeah.
And then there'd be ums and ahs in the room. I'd go, oh, that's annoying. That's one of my favourite bits, but I can't do it now because you can't relate to it. I'll do something else. Anyway, have you ever been on holiday?
Yeah.
And they'd always get a big laugh. And then they would go, I went on holiday to Newquay.
Yeah.
I love it, actually.
I like that.
That's never been in a proper show of mine.
You could bring that back.
Maybe I could.
And
or is it one of those things where, like, when you're new, that was great.
Yeah.
But now I've sort of upped my game to where I am now. Maybe it would stand out as, like, not very good. But I still think, in theory, that is a funny structure.
But there is, recently I've been doing a lot more like hours and like whips of it.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing...
Work in progress?
Yes, work in progress. And I've been noticing, so I'm going back into old stuff.
Yeah.
And suddenly, I don't know if it's me that's changed.
Sexual harassment at work bit.
No, I'm not doing that.
I love that. That's where Stuart Foreman, though, when we saw you do that, we thought you were like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you had the body mannerisms and everything.
I was very physical.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I was very physical. I would dance. I would do a whole thing about getting mugged.
And now you don't move.
I don't move at all. I won't. I will not move.
What was the decision there? Because you have got natural comedic body.
Yeah.
A natural comedic movement.
Yeah.
So what's the thought process of not wanting to make the most of that?
I do that.
Or do you still sort of dance around and
do you know
stuff?
what? I think I got quite still for a while, and recently, again, it's talking about things unlocking.
Yeah.
I had a really good gig, and I noticed I was sort of dancing as I was talking.
Right.
I was bouncing.
Yeah.
And now before I go on stage, I start
to get you in the zone.
I start dancing.
Yeah. I think that's a real thing. I always like to smile and be happy on stage. Yeah. No matter what your mood is, you have to then lock that away and then be the performer. So I must look mad backstage sometimes, but I force myself to smile.
Yeah.
And then when you go on stage, you're just in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, if you walk on smiling, sort of like, hey, what's up? It's like instantly they're like, oh, this guy's cool.
Yeah,
he's chilled.
You look comfortable.
Yeah, that night I remember we were doing something exciting, wasn't it? We were like 18. I don't know how old you were.
I must have been 22.
Yeah, you're slightly older.
I always describe it as like discovering this underground world, and it felt rock and roll to me.
Yeah,
because it was like I'm allowed to do this thing, and I don't think new acts have that feeling now because with social media, everyone knows about all the comedy clubs and the small gigs. Yeah. I didn't know they existed. No. The first time I went into a comedy club was my first ever gig.
Yeah,
and it was just like, what?
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, what is this? And it's like a drug, and I literally haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't have a gig, I do feel rubbish. Like if I have a week, like I did actually have some time off after Edinburgh. It's just people always tell me I need to have more time off.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I just felt a bit like bleh.
I think it's normally like a few days for you to just reset your nervous system because we've probably become more and more used to it, and you've been doing it for even longer. But I reckon our body's under quite a lot of stress.
They do
when we go on stage
because it's such up and down.
Yeah,
especially if you're doubling or tripling in a gig.
Yeah.
So you open the first one and you spike.
Yeah.
And you come
dash
down
across town.
And you go across town. So your adrenaline is, and then obviously you've got spike again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't healthy.
I don't think it's good for us.
No, I don't think it is. But I always go to the gym after, not always, but quite often after shows, I go to the gym and that lets it all out.
Yeah.
I find.
Yeah.
And then I can sleep better.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so let's return to the night we met. So I can't really remember. I remember it was early days for me. I used to do a routine where I got mugged, and but I was also doing like performance arts.
So you were doing dancing, and so you were doing jazz hands when they attacked you.
Yeah. And that actually came from I was listening to a Woody Allen.
Cool.
The Moose Story.
Yeah,
the Moose Story.
That's one of the great routines.
So good. If you haven't heard it,
it might have been you that told me to watch that routine.
Probably. I don't know how I came across that. I remember because it was such early days, we would like swap stuff. I was really into Stephen Wright.
Right.
You loved The Mighty Boosh.
Oh yeah.
So it was an exciting time, and comedy felt different then as well because I had to restart again about 5 years ago now, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
The industry has completely changed when you started back.
I think getting sober was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm sober as well.
Yeah.
When I didn't ever drink unless I went out. But when I went out, I got smashed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I worked at university after university.
Yes.
So I was in the university lifestyle for probably 14 years.
Jeez.
And because I worked in the gym, I just meet the new students. So even though I was 30, I don't know, but I was in the student nightclub at 30.
You like the weird old dude.
Yeah. With people.
Just turned up.
Yeah.
35 years old.
And this girl came up to me. I thought, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And she went, she said, you're a lecturer. And I was like, oh, why? She said, you look old. And bear in mind, I was 30 at the time. I said, how old do you think I look? And she went, 24. So I was like, if she thinks 24 is too old to be in it, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
I need to go out.
I need to not go out.
Yeah, that's true. So how do you think it's changed comedy-wise? How long have you been doing comedy now?
Must be 18 years.
18 years.
I'm not in the grassroots as much anymore. I do go and... I like to go and... When I work on new material... Because you've got different sorts of new material gigs. You've got like professional new material gigs where pros come along and then the audience know they come to watch pros do new material.
Yes.
And then you've got open mic gigs where you can go on and just do stuff. I like those.
You like
because
them.
I like going in where it's raw and I have to really test to see whether my stuff works or not.
You'll still do that? Like even when there's like those nights where... Because I try and... I run a couple of nights now, so I don't have to go do... And then so other spots...
invited me.
You came once, I think.
Did I?
You did.
Okay.
Like a while ago.
You're still doing that one?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
You will still go to like a shitty...
Yeah, I love it.
Like, you like it?
Yeah, they're my favourite.
Really?
Because you've got nothing to lose.
There's no pressure.
And I don't have the fear of death on stage now.
Okay.
Literally doesn't scare me. When you die on stage, it just means they don't laugh at you.
Yes.
And they actively don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's the main fear of everyone who does it. Even people who've never tried stand-up, that's the reason they don't try stand-up.
Yeah.
Because that is scary.
Yeah.
And unless you've done it, you can't really describe what that's like unless you've been up there and experienced it.
It's ridiculous.
And also, there's so many different versions of it.
That's so true. Yeah.
Like, you've got this, the one where you're just sweating.
Yep.
And then there's some where you start talking really fast because you're panicking and they can sense it. I mean, there's so many things you learn as you go, how to deal with those things. But for me, I think the reason I didn't like dying on stage, the main reason was because I didn't truly believe I was good at it. So then when you're dying, you're like, oh, they're right.
So reconfirming this belief,
or just questioning it. Whereas now, I know I'm good at what I do. And I also know that there's all sorts of factors to why you might die on stage that isn't because you're not good at what you do. Like the basic one, I do one-liners. Might just be a room for the people that don't like one-liners. And you can't suddenly make them like it. I mean, I think you can win them over a bit, but you won't be able to smash that gig if they don't like one-liners because their brains don't work that way. And you have to be able to get the joke. So that's one thing. The room layout. What's come before. Has it been a terrible night? So I did. This is a prime example. I did Ready for a Clang. I did Rob Brydon tour support.
Yes.
In the Brighton Dome, which is an incredible venue. 2,000 something people maybe. It was probably the best gig of my life.
Yeah.
And I opened for him, and then I went down to Shoreham-on-Sea to close a gig. I did the exact same set. I said the exact same way.
Yeah.
I had the gig of my life, and then I died on my ass.
Yeah.
And I think I died on my ass there because they just had a bad night. And it might not have been the comedian's fault. It could have been something else in the room, but they'd had a bad night. I think they decided we don't want it saved now because we want to be able to moan about this when we're on the way home.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was such a mad, surreal experience because I'd literally just said the same thing.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. I'd love to have done an experiment where I do do 10 minutes of that set, and they just look at me like I don't know what I'm doing. They hate me, and then I just want to pull down the screen and show them an hour before, the exact same stuff, and that room smashing. And just what I'd love to then the audience be interviewed, as in what are you thinking when you're seeing that? Have you now changed your mind? Have you now gone, oh, actually, it is us? Or are you going, those 2,000 people are wrong? Like, what is the process of that? Because when you watch comedy and you don't know the person, you've never seen them before, and it's not working in the room, you only have the opinion that this is rubbish. But the comedian knows he's done this, she's done this, they've done this 100,000 times.
Yeah.
Maybe not that many.
Yeah.
But it's madness.
Yeah.
But so now that's one of the reasons where that taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
Because you could come on stage weirdly and ruin a gig.
There's so many things.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
I know that I just did what I normally do.
Yeah.
So there's so many factors. Okay, here's another example, if this is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I was gigging in Australia, in Brisbane, and it was another sort of show. I did one and then went to another. But the first show, one of the acts overran, and then it made my time to get to the second show really tight. So I had to pretty much run from one show to the other. And when I got there, I went straight up on stage. And because of the running, I was sweating. Right?
Come on.
So as soon as I walk on, I've got red face. Yeah. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
To the audience, looks nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks terribly nervous. Or creepy.
Yeah.
And I had a really bad gig there. Yeah. But I just had a really good one the other place.
Yeah.
But the reason it was bad is just because of what I look like. So there's literally... Yeah. It's none of that is my comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so I just sort of have accepted that, and I think if you know you're good at something, and you don't let things bother you so much.
The Buddhist understanding of things is really in line with what you're saying, because it's not personal,
right?
And they say that everything is dependent on many causes and conditions coming together, and often we get stressed out because we're like, either we go, I did that, I'm the best, or I did that, I'm the worst.
Yeah.
Because really, it's not all up to you.
Yeah.
There's like especially in a live gig, as you said, there's many, many elements at play. Apparently, within the first sort of 6 seconds of meeting you or something, we've made like 50 judgments instantly.
Really?
Like unconsciously. So
yes,
these little tiny things, like you come on, basically.
That's the first one.
Yeah. And would I? Yeah, would I? I mean, that's your brain.
Do you think that is a thing?
What?
That is, what is that? Do you think that's nature? That is one of the first things when you meet, no matter who you meet.
You're aware of it when you're talking to someone who's very attractive.
Yeah.
I become, I can't even speak sometimes. I'm just like,
you've become a bit more comfortable with me now.
I knew you was going to say that.
That's why I had such a bad gig in that first one. It's just out there, just didn't say anything.
But it's learning to not take it personally and have like an inner confidence. It sounds like you're saying, and being like, this isn't all about me, actually, in a weird way. But
also internally, I can still hate the audience. Well, not hate them, but you can still be really riled up inside because you're like, this stuff's good. Yeah. Why aren't you laughing? But luckily, that doesn't happen so much now. But half of the skill is to not look like you're thinking that, because if it's going badly, if you look comfortable, you can win them back.
Yeah, and I think for me, I've found that if I'm having fun, even sometimes
fun
back,
is the most important thing.
This is what I'm saying to everyone now.
Yeah.
Someone said to me the other day, a new guy, like, I'm working on set. I said, I think the secret ingredient is fun.
Danny Ward and I, before every tour show, before we go on, we go FUN. We always say that to each other.
That's good, yeah.
Because you when life's happening, you sometimes forget that fun is literally, one, comedy's fun.
Yes, it's so...
Two, you want them to... You need them to know that you're having a nice time. Yeah. Because if they sense that you're not, they won't. Whereas if I'm having fun and I've got those jokes, then it's a different league. And sometimes I come off and I'm just... And then I just kind of realise, oh no, I didn't get myself... And it's that thing of smiling before you go on. It's getting that sense of fun before you go on.
Do you think that this has spilt out into your non-stage life? Like this... Because I think this is a good thing to remember in general, that... If you keep a lightness about you and grasp stuff less tightly, suddenly the whole world's different. You take things less personally.
I think you become more attractive as a person. Not just like sexually attractive, but just attractive as a person. Because if I'm feeling in a fun mood, and sometimes forcing myself to be more fun, if I go up, if I'm in Pret, there's different ways to order.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll just be a transaction. But sometimes, if you just have a bit of fun about you, you suddenly have a moment with whoever you're, and that makes everyone feel good. Because I've been in a job where I'm sort of a bit bored, and then if you have that interaction, it sort of makes your day, doesn't it? And it literally can just be, how's it going? Just say, do you know what I mean? Just engage and just smile and just be in the moment. I think
I've been doing a stupid thing. every now and then in a coffee shop, just to make myself laugh, I deliberately put a spelling mistake in my name. You know when they say your name? Sorry, in Black Sheep Coffee, you have to write your name down.
Oh, do you?
Thing. Yeah. So I always write Mork, M-O-R-C.
Nice.
So then they go, Mork, and I just enjoy it being like, it's Mark. And then they're like, it's just a nice little moment of...
That's so funny.
It's so weird, isn't it? I don't know why.
But I love these things.
Yeah, and they're always
these things. Yeah. There's loads of these things. Like in Nando's, if they say, have you got any allergies?
Yeah.
This is a really funny thing happened. I don't really do it anymore, actually, but I used to always say hay fever. I think that's funny. And then it's funny, I was with my dad in Nando's.
Yeah.
And he had one.
Okay.
And we both said them at the same time.
Yeah.
So his one was, have you got any allergies? He says, paying the bill. Right?
Yeah.
But there's this really funny moment where we both said it at the same time, and the girl heard me. Yeah. And she went, oh, that's really funny. Because normally people say paying the bill.
Oh.
And he just said it. It's so funny. But yeah, I love those moments.
Yeah, it's nice.
You've got your little set pieces. That's a comedian, isn't it? You do your joke.
Yeah.
The joke you do.
It just suddenly is like a little break from the routine, you know?
Yeah. That's so funny that you do that. I love that.
I was wondering, do you thinking about the mind then, do you think that sort of, we were saying that it's made you more fun, but do you think like you're like a one-liner guy, you do puns, you do wordplay, do you think that's changed the way that you think about the world?
Has my style of comedy changed how I think about the world? Probably not, because I think that is naturally what my brain does. So that's how I always go to one-liners. I don't think it's changed the way
You didn't start when you started. You were quite surreal when we started.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I was, but I tried lots of different ways. But if you actually break those jokes down that I was doing when I was surreal, they are technically all one-linery.
Okay,
but I was delivering them in a way that was a bit. So so that thing that I was doing. Have you ever been in a car?
Yeah.
The joke I did was a one-liner about the car. So it was almost sort of disguised.
Yeah.
Because that joke, I did my comedy special last year, available on YouTube.
Yes, it's really good.
I'll behave. Thanks, mate. And that was a joke where I say, I was driving by the bus, on the back there's a big sign saying driver required. Yeah. And then I sort of peer around like looking at, like I'm scared that there's no one driving the bus. Yeah. Well, that's the joke I would have done that night.
Okay.
After...
Really? From back then, you still...
think so.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So essentially, though the environment I created was more surreal, the actual jokes weren't. And I used to be a bit mad like Noel Fielding because I wanted to sort of...
Yeah.
And then I had another moment where I actually went for a walk after a gig that had gone badly. And loads of gigs have been going badly. And if I hadn't have gone for that walk, I probably would have given up comedy. Oh. But in that walk, I started analysing what I was doing, which I hadn't really done before. And I kind of worked out that a lot of my jokes were thinkers, but because of my style, I was running to the next joke straight away. Yeah. So no one had time to process what I'd said, and that's why they weren't laughing. Yeah. And then the next gig, I took my time, and it went much better, and that was a real moment. But have me doing one-liners changed my opinion of the world?
Or the way you think, I think, because
I guess I've probably trained myself to think more, to spot wordplay more now. Yeah. But I always did to a certain extent, which is why I think that's why it naturally comes to me compared to when I was trying to write surreal stuff or things like that. I think stand-up's changed the way I am in the world. I'm much more confident now. But then I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. Because naturally I'm not like that. Naturally I'm quite introverted. Well, I was at school. But I had a moment when I was at school where I was like, it was after school, sixth form, where I was like, I'm flipping the script. I don't want to be this introverted person anymore. Okay. So I actively almost put on a performance of, and I remember it very clearly. It's really sad. But I've never been very good with girls, right? Because the first year sixth form was okay, but I was internal a lot. Do you know what I mean? And there's a girl I fancied, right? I never spoke to her before from the year below, but it spoke in sixth form, so it's okay. And she was sitting over there, and I did this thing and it was in the days where there was a payphone. or just a phone on the wall.
Yeah.
And I remember I walked over to the phone and I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be a personality, but I'm not going to linger. Because I feel like I wasn't confident enough to just go up and start talking to them, because they'd be like, what's this guy doing? But I did this thing where, I can't remember what I said, but it was something along the lines of, I was walking over there, hey girls, how you doing? You all right? And then just carried on walking. And I think they just went, oh, wow, that guy's confident. And that's it, so casual.
Yeah.
I ended up dating her.
Really? Do you remember how you felt inside as you did that?
I remember feeling a bit of a buzz. And that was a performance, because that isn't actually what I'm like.
Yeah.
And then I think I've gradually just become that performance.
Well, I guess it's what I was trying to get at is that the mechanism of a joke is, I guess, can sometimes be like a bit of a puzzle.
Yeah,
right?
It's maths.
Do you think, because let's get into the sort of philosophical angle of it.
Yeah.
So wordplay is often, I would describe it as often it's a set of assumptions that you're planting in the audience's minds.
Yeah.
And then you shatter it or you twist it.
I think they've already got the assumptions in their minds.
Yeah. So they're creating, you're trying to evoke these
You're
things.
just trying to make them think naturally.
Yeah.
And then you pull the rug.
And then it's like a flip.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and we'll get into this in a minute, because that is one of the philosophical theories of laughter is incongruity, right? But so it's like a flip, the assumption shattered, and then it's like, oh, it's a whole different story the whole time.
Yeah. I think it's surprise. Surprise is what ignites laughter.
Surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're doing something out. And it's the same with like horror.
Yeah.
Surprise makes you react.
And there's fun in that as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And also, there's also an element of, and this is why I sort of was drawn to one-liners, especially when I first watched Jimmy Carr, his first Real Variety performance. I remember it very clearly. I remember where I was, who was where, sitting where. It really made an impact. Yeah. And I loved the satisfaction I got when I got the joke, that I'd worked it out.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the thinkers. This is why I sort of always went that route.
So if you see it like math, when you're writing, are you sort of like, how are you just naturally getting in a fun mood and talking, or are you actually like?
I think initially it's not maths. I think initially you just get the inspiration, the idea that comes naturally as you're walking around. I'll spot, you'll say something. I'm like, there's some wordplay there.
Yeah.
And then when I sit down with the idea, that's when it becomes maths.
Yeah.
Because you have to work out what words go where, what's the rhythm. Is that a bit too long? Is that a bit too short? And then you're really thinking, okay, what are the audience thinking? What am I making the audience think there? Yeah. And are they all thinking the same thing? Because you need them all thinking the same thing. Because there's some jokes where I've actually asked the audience after, I'll go, okay, what exactly are you thinking? And there may be 3 or 4 different. So like, well, that doesn't work. It's too much confusion. You need the audience working as one. And then you come back to the drawing board and you just start rearranging again. And so there's a few different elements, but I love all of those. I like the analysis side of it.
Yeah.
But so on the podcast, basically comedians come on and they talk about jokes they like that they've written, but for whatever reason don't work well enough. And then maybe they've dropped it or they're still working on it. Yeah. So then I've sort of just got more practice at sort of helping people with different styles of comedy and trying to work out why they work and why they don't work. And a lot of the time it does come down to similar things. Yeah. No matter what your style, really.
Getting people to think one way.
I get a lot of the time. Or it can be, does the topic in the setup make people uncomfortable? Yeah. Do people understand the references? Yeah. Like, do they know what you're talking? Like last night I did a joke and in central London, and it was about Rachel Riley from Countdown. Yep. And it didn't really work, and it had worked a few times before. Okay. And then I asked the audience, and most of them are international audience members. Yeah. So that's the reason that didn't work, because they don't know the reference. Yeah. So what's your point? What do you think? As in the wordplay?
I think on a deeper level, I think it reveals, and we'll probably get into this in a minute, but I think it reveals something about meaning, the way that we make meaning and the way that we perceive the world.
Yeah. Because you are playing with how people perceive the world, essentially.
Because if you actually think about what you're doing, is you're showing, I'll talk about it from a Buddhist perspective, because that's what my practice is, right, in my life. And so, as I said, their thing is that everything's made of multiple causes and conditions. Everything is dependent on everything else. So, for example, for me to be alive, I need the air of the tree. I need the water. I need all these elements. Yeah. I'm not like a solid fixed me. There is me there, but it's not rigid.
Yeah.
And we suffer because we think, oh, there's me here. But actually, I'm interdependent of everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that means that everything is relative and can have many perspectives to it.
Mm.
And I actually think, if you think about what's going on in the brain, is it's showing us that. Like, so we have a certain story we're telling, and then someone suddenly shatters it, and we're like, oh, you can look at it from a different perspective. It's
yeah.
like,
and that is what
fun.
comedy is, because they always say that comedy, the comedian sees the world from a different angle.
Yeah.
And with me, it's wordplay. So when someone's talking, I sometimes will jump to the wordplay before or maybe immediately after what they actually mean.
Yeah.
And then observation is someone will notice what everyone's doing, but we won't notice what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it is always that for looking at it from a different angle. Whereas if everybody thought like that, then it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
Because everyone already knows it.
The thing that I think you're really good at is word economy. So this is like real geek chat now, but like the ability to like shave off certain parts to get that joke. Because although I had an opposite example recently, right? So I've been telling this story of something that happened to me a couple of years ago as part of my longer show. Got mugged at knife point, and I was doing it with...
There's a common theme with your stuff.
Yeah, and it was lots of like... I tried to make it like a joke, every line.
Because my instant thought with this is... The first thing I go to is... You're nice. People like you when you're on stage. You're talking about someone taking a knife point. They feel bad for you. That's hard to make funny. That's instantly, because people don't want to laugh at that because they're worried about you. So
here's what I've done. I think I might have figured it out. Which is actually getting away from being like every line needs to be jokey and fake to actually telling the truth of it. And so I've just recently, literally in the last couple of weeks, been actually coming out and saying what actually happened without trying to be funny. And then naturally, because of the tension, you end up just saying the jokes. And so there's a whole section now. I had a bit.
Well, sometimes when it comes to true stories, if you make jokes in it, then you take all credibility away. So they won't believe what you're saying. So that's a different thing to what I do. So you want them to believe it's true.
Because there was a line that I was doing that wasn't really working, and now I have a chunk where actually it goes against my instincts of like word economy. I have a chunk where I stay in the truth for a little bit longer, and then say the line, and it really pops because they're like it's like attention.
Also, you're building more tension.
Yeah.
I've also, like, as I've developed my joke writing, I used to think it's all about making it as short as possible, but I have now started adding lines in the setup because I want to add emotion. I want the audience to feel something, and you can do that within. But also, you say you take the audience one way and come back the other way. Well, sometimes you can add a line to take them a bit further that way, or take them off the scent a bit more. Whereas sometimes if you're just like as economical as possible, maybe they'll see it coming because there's not enough distance between the two. So that's something I've developed over I've learned.
Have you got an example of that, or would you not want to give anything away?
Like there might be a joke where, like, say my girlfriend's been inconsiderate or something, and I could just do the joke, but now I might go, oh, my girlfriend wasn't very considerate the other day. This is horrible, isn't it? Isn't it horrible when they're or when someone's inconsiderate? So that way, by adding that extra bit in before the joke, you're making them go, that is not horrible. So they're invested.
Interesting.
Hello, just a quick pause. If you're enjoying the Bardo podcast and you'd like to support it, you can do that at patreon.com/the Bardo podcast. And there's also a link in the show notes. The podcast will always be independent, ad-free, and available to everyone. But if you are able to support even a small amount in pounds or whatever your local currency happens to be, it really helps with the time, care, and basic costs that go into making it. Over on Patreon, I'm also going to be starting a fortnightly online meditation session, just a simple space to sit together. No experience will be required, no pressure, just a chance to pause and practice together. And you will be able to join as a paid supporter or as a free member if money's tight right now. I'll also be sharing details for that on my Instagram. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
I was reading a book by Emily Herring about the philosopher Henri Bergson, right? And I went and saw her do a talk.
Big time.
And he wrote about laughter.
Yeah.
And a lot of philosophers haven't spoken about laughter before. They always like, it's a bit trivial. Like the comedy's not an art.
Like the Oscars.
Yeah. So what do you mean the Oscars?
They don't have a category for comedy.
Do they not?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to feel about that.
Wow. Terribly.
I do feel terrible. Bergson was interested because he said that laughter's like a huge, important thing in people's lives. Like, how often do you laugh throughout the day? And comedy, I think, for me, it just changes my whole mood. If I'm in a bad mood, I go to comedy, I connect with people. Suddenly, like the world's telling us, so like a lot of our news feed is like, the world's terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like in a room with people you're connecting, you're
That's
together.
a lot of Edinburgh shows, you're going to have the same thing.
Yeah, you're going to have that a lot. So I thought we'd go through some philosophical theories of laughter.
Great.
It'd be great to get your take on it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So first up we have, it's called the superiority theory. And this is from people like Plato and Aristotle. Do you know Plato and Aristotle?
The big dogs.
Big dogs, you're a big fan of them?
They're the main ones.
So this is the idea, right? That laughter expresses a feeling of superiority over others' weakness, folly, or misfortune. So for example, you laugh at someone sipping on a banana peel.
Yeah.
But it's not just that they slipped on the banana peel, it's that, that wasn't me. I'm glad that wasn't me.
I'm relieved.
Yeah. And
I think that happens when people get picked on in the front row. And everyone has that kind of, well, it's not me.
I mean, no one wants to sit in the front row.
Yeah.
There's a tension. So you think we're actually laughing at, look at them. I'm glad that's not me.
Depends what's been said, I suppose. There must be an element of that.
There's something interesting that someone told me about MCing, that you have to release them from the tension. If you're too mean and you don't go, not really.
Yeah.
And you keep that tension up,
Yeah.
then everyone feels like shit. Everyone's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't ever go at anyone in the crowd. I don't attack.
No, it's not your style.
I'm sort of, but it still works in that sense.
Yeah.
But people are more willing to sit in the front row in my crowds. I think people want to, which is nice. Because if you do see... But then there is a fine line, isn't there, between like someone falling over on a banana skill and someone falling on a banana skill and whacking their head. Yeah. And then you're like concerned. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there is a fine line between what's actually funny. I think if you know that someone's okay, I think it's funny. But I think if you took the piss out of someone and then you say in the gig and then the audience can actively see that person's crying.
Yes.
It won't be funny anymore.
Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Someone's cried?
No. But it definitely will have happened. I think that is a thing of like, if you... I think if someone's you see someone's genuinely hurting, I don't think it's funny anymore.
No.
But I think... Because you do have that with, say, a relative or something falls over in the mud. You do sort of check their reaction before you can laugh.
Yeah, you have to check, because otherwise you look callous.
Because you've had that, everyone's had that, where you started laughing and then they're crying and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I feel so bad that I shouldn't have laughed. But it's also a tension release. So if someone falls over, you're laughing because it's not you.
You think so?
Well, if you're... Okay, say you're walking in mud, right? And you're concerned you're going to fall over and then someone else does, you are relieved that's not you because you've built tension in yourself. But also, if you are the one that falls over, quite often you laugh.
You laugh, yeah. Sometimes when I push them over, I laugh as well. So with the superiority theory, there's this thing I read once, which is like a comedy. This is so... geeky, but I think you might like it. It's like a benign violation. So it's like there's a violation in some way, that there's something like there's tension, but it has to be benign. It can't be too... It's benign. It can't be too much. We have to still feel safe. Yeah. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So maybe there's some truth to that. But with the superiority theory, do you think that a joke always has a victim?
No.
You don't?
No.
But
I could give an example.
Are we not like... Okay, go. Speak.
I keep writing letters to myself. Yeah. Dear me.
Okay.
Who's the victim in that?
Maybe you're the idiot, though. Do you see what I mean? So there's always like an idiot or something we're laughing at.
No, but there are jokes where I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But I'm not an idiot in that joke, because that's literally just wordplay.
It's the fun.
I keep writing letters to myself. Dear me, no one's hurt.
I think we've worked out that this theory is not total.
Not
Do you
total.
Mean? It's one way, but I think...
But that's very much in my style of comedy. Yeah. I think in other styles, maybe a certain style, there's always a victim, I guess. Like, it's like observational comedy. Is there a victim in that? you're laughing at yourselves for the way you kind of.
Sometimes we're the victim as well.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, because you're going, oh yeah, we do that, aren't we silly?
It's that, isn't it? Aren't we silly? I wonder if, because I think Rowan Atkinson said every joke has to have a victim.
We'll see. No,
I don't know. So maybe you think you've got a joke that doesn't.
He's been there, done that.
Okay, let's keep going.
Been there. Mr.
Yep,
Bean.
we got. So Plato. We need.
Been there, done that.
So Plato.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but Plato was quite distrustful of laughter.
We'll see.
Yeah, because he thought that it was almost like it can undermine, he said, rational discipline. So he was a bit grumpy about it, I think.
So he didn't. What boring? How boring?
It's very boring, isn't it?
So it undermines his seriousness. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. I think if you're. Do you think that you could? Obviously, you can't. Like you said, if someone's hurt, you can't really be joking about that. There are times where you can't.
Yeah, there's serious things that.
So this brings up a question for me.
But then it depends, because then it's like tragedy plus time, isn't it? Because okay, someone breaks their leg in the moment, that's not funny. But in the hospital afterwards, when they're actually recovering, and then they're like, that is mad that I've broke my leg doing that silly thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, it made me think of, there's obviously a time and place for comedy, right? But we've been around people that are constantly on. And it is tiring because you're like, oh, you're just doing it at me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I wonder, I've definitely ruined relationships.
Been there, done that.
Okay, all right. I've ruined relationships because I've been thinking about jokes so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that happen to you?
Oh, yeah, girlfriends have been really annoyed. To start with, they think being with a comedian is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I've had many, my girlfriend, I was probably with her when I was she went, Mark, why are you always making jokes?
Yeah.
She was a singer, right?
Okay, yes, I know who.
Yeah, she was a singer.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, and she used to sing all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't say to her, why are you always singing? It's horrible. Because I'm a comedian, I want to make jokes.
But would she sing?
Sometimes girlfriends have like tried to trying to be serious, and they have got annoyed because I'm.
I guess it's that, innit? Because she wouldn't, if there was like a serious thing, like, oh, my dog's died, and she was like, your dog's died, and started singing, she wouldn't sing, but I feel like you would probably be like...
I don't think I'll make a joke about a dog.
Yeah, I feel like you would. I feel like you couldn't help it.
No, I don't think I would. But yeah, I think not so much serious like that, but like just a proper conversation they want to have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just a normal...
But you can have that, can't you?
Yeah, I can now.
But you didn't.
But back then, I was so desperate for everything to try and make a joke out of everything. Yeah. I just, I didn't want to waste any opportunity to try and think of something funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, it's just drive. You're not confident at that time. And so you're, then that's what got you to develop that muscle.
I guess so. Failure does.
Help. I'm okay with it.
You save it for on stage?
I think I'm kind of serious quite a lot. I play around with my girlfriend a lot, but I think I'm okay. I don't need to do that because I know on stage I just can be silly and it's
But
fine.
Do you think of the funny things and not save them?
No, right. I'm writing everything down and I'm annoying.
But if you were just in a conversation and you could have a zinger there, would you say it or do you hold it back?
Sometimes not, because I'm not as confident maybe in real life. Do you know what I mean? Whereas on stage, I feel like I'm totally being myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas sometimes I go quiet in my head when I'm around people. It's anxiety. So the next theory we had was relief theory. And this is a psychological release, right? And this is Freud. You know about Freud.
Yeah. Hang on. It slipped my mind for a second. But
it's very good.
It's another joke, everyone.
And laughter is the release of, this is something we've been touching on, is the release of nervous energy or repressed emotions.
Agreed.
So he said that jokes let forbidden thoughts, often sexual or aggressive, slip past censorship, releasing psychic energy. So once that tension is released, repression is lifted. I've got an example of this, actually.
Sex jokes always get more laughs than anything else.
So... one critique is that not all jokes seem to be about repression or nervous energy, but he said, like Taboo, laughter's the pressure valve going off. You just said, do you think audiences laugh when something's a bit close to the bone? I think an element of naughtiness makes something funnier.
But it can also make them not laugh.
Yeah, there's too much tension once again. Yeah.
And also that's how the world's changed a lot.
Okay.
From when we started. because people now are all very sensitive about so many different things, whereas in the old days they weren't. And it probably still had that same effect of the release thing. But now, sometimes before you get to a punchline, they've decided that they can't laugh at what you're going to say, even if there's nothing wrong with what you said, because they're too worried about laughing at the thing they're not supposed to laugh at.
There's probably a reason for that. There's a lot of people who've done shitty things, so then people, when they hear that, they're like, "Oh my god, is this kind of going?" I think
also with social media, everyone's more aware of taboos and things.
But we want to feel sort of safe as an audience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we don't trust the comedian, sometimes we're like, I don't know if I want to laugh. We're in our head. We're not thinking about a joke anymore.
Yeah.
We're over here.
I've got a joke in my set at the moment, but it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Makes them very tense.
Yeah.
And then the release shows I'm an alright guy.
Okay.
Right. But it's one of those jokes where it doesn't ruin the joke. It's not far enough to ruin it, and it actually, the tension helps the punchline.
Yeah.
But if it's in a gig where they don't trust me, or it's not really going great, I won't do the joke because they won't go for it.
Okay.
But if they like me, it will work, but it does build tension. And I always comment afterwards about the fact that how tense they were.
Yeah. They'll go a second laugh because it's an observation, right?
Yeah. Because they go, we were tense.
Yeah.
And then after that, I always make a comment. I'm like, I've been on here 20 minutes. I'd hope that you trust me by now.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't because they're still worried.
Yeah.
Like, but out of nowhere, I'm suddenly going to be awful. No, of course not.
So I wonder, so coming back to like going, does this always apply? It can't do. Surely every joke isn't about a repressed emotion, is it?
I keep writing letters to myself. Dear me. Yeah, that's a good example of a joke. Yeah. Because there's nothing repressed there.
Is there a relief in it? You know what I mean? A psychological release in that joke?
Are they relieved that I'm not writing letters to myself?
I don't know.
But I'd say the bigger laughs maybe are that.
Yeah. Playing with the tension.
Because my joke there, that gets a good laugh, but it doesn't get a woof. Whereas the woofs, I think, are that release.
Sex.
Sometimes sex, but anything where the tension's been built up.
Have you found it help you in telling it? Because I was just saying that when I was speaking about the mugging thing, saying something on stage the other day, I was suddenly like, whoa, I never thought about that. That was actually quite traumatizing, something that happened. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of made a joke, and now I'm not traumatized at all by it.
Yeah.
It's almost funny now.
100%.
I'm relieved.
Most of my stuff's made up.
Yeah.
But there are jokes where there is something real in it.
Yeah.
And I definitely find that it helps the thing.
Take the power away a bit or something.
Yeah. I feel like, at a very basic level, you take something horrible and I've got something out of it.
Yes.
So, okay, so for like a not extreme, but say I've had a breakup.
Yeah.
Terrible. But I've got a joke where I get a big laugh out of it. Well, I've got something out of that.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel happy because that happening, something's good's happened.
Yeah.
So it's not been worth it.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you've got something out of it.
Yeah, it's been reframed, you transformed it.
And I quite often find breakups help my writing.
Yeah. Are you now actively being a bad boyfriend to have more breakups and stuff?
I'm just dating so many women just for inspiration.
I think you'll like this one. Incongruity theory. Incongruity theory.
I've heard of it.
This is Immanuel Kant and Schopenhauer. So they say that laughter arises when there's a mismatch between expectation and reality. So like a difference in like logic, language, or situation. So like a flip meaning, or I guess this is an absurd juxtaposition, which is like the letter one maybe. And Kant said that laughter is the sudden transformation of a strained expectation into nothing. So it sort of explains that our expectations are set up and flipped. But I guess one-liners live in that exact space, right?
I don't really know what you're talking about.
Okay. Basically, laughter arises from an expectation.
Yeah.
And then it's flipped.
Yeah, like we said earlier.
Nothing, Kant said.
Into nothing?
Yeah. Which is interesting.
What does he mean as that?
Laughter's like the release, like, oh, it wasn't real.
Oh,
it's not real.
One-liners
it's like going, this isn't real. This is an illusion.
Yeah, well, it's like the whole thing of like, I've been tricked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I guess so. Because I could be saying something terrible's happened to me.
Yeah.
And then the reveal is, oh no, it hasn't. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
So for one-liners, that makes sense. There's a misdirect, right?
Yeah.
But for say a clown or absurdist comedy, there's surprise in that.
Yeah. But no, I'd say that the best example of the opposite is telling a true story. Storytelling. It's all real.
It's real.
So you can't say that it's not real. So I think they're talking specifically about jokes, like jokes, with what they're saying there. Because if you're telling a story that happened that's funny, then there's no it's not real.
But sometimes it's your take, it's your response to it that's funny. Do you know what I mean? It's surprising that you would. That's often what's funny.
It can be a surprise,
right?
but what they're saying is it goes from something real that suddenly, it's not real. But no, it is real.
Is it real?
If it's a true story, it's real. Isn't it?
Yeah, but it's what I'm interested in, I guess, then, is we're talking about perspective. But with the joke, it's this was one perspective I had. Oh, it's not fixed. It's not the only perspective.
Yeah.
So it's not the truth. I think it's showing us sometimes that this is not the truth.
Right. I don't think that will come across in a storytelling thing because it's coming across that it's real.
And then it's almost that's then probably more like the Freudian thing of this is repressed, this is a release, we're laughing, we feel better, we're coping with it a bit. I don't know.
I think what we're discovering is comedy is very complex.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it because there's so many different versions of comedy.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing something different up there with the different styles. So I don't think you can have rules.
Well, this is what brings us on to Bergson. He said exactly that.
Everything they're saying is true.
Yeah.
But it's not a complete scientific rule.
Yeah. Well, so this is why Henri Bergson said, laughter has a knack of baffling every effort of slipping away and escaping only to bob up again. A pert challenge flung a philosophical speculation. So it's a living thing. It can't be trapped. It can't be explained in a sense. And this is why I think it is vital, because it gives us a sense of, for me, the nature of things is that things are organic, they're living, they're changing, they're not fixed.
Yeah.
And Bergson actually said that jokes and laughter is to show us that mechanistic thinking is incorrect. It's actually, we've evolved to laugh at people who are being too rigid or too rigid behaviour because it's anti-life. This was his theory, right? So,
but I guess laughter's not fixed in the sense that if you have, this might be complete nonsense.
Yeah.
But a joke, you can say the same joke and it will always get a different reaction. So it's not a fixed thing because there's not a definite exact response.
But if you're saying that joke in the same way every time, then maybe you're being mechanical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny to laugh at the mechanical thing, if that makes sense. It's two different things.
I don't agree with that because I always try to do my jokes exactly the same and they do work. So you can't say it's not funny because it's said the same way.
So are you always doing them exactly the same?
Well, I say the wordings. You're always aiming to the same timing and everything for the peak joke. Because if you change it too much, then sometimes it just won't work. So the wording's always the same. And maybe the rhythm's slightly different, but I always try to make it the same because I always try to recreate when it worked because that's the science.
This what brings us to the last part of this, where Bergson, where he said that it's to laugh at the mechanical encrusted on the living. It's basically when people get too pompous or out of sync we laugh at someone running along the street, a businessman with a briefcase running for the bus because we're that's funny, that you're dressed like that but you're running. And so he would.
But is that not also if you look at that person that he's it's you're punching up? Because when they're in a suit, they look like they're important.
Yeah, exactly. They're pompous.
They're being they're in an
totally different context
situation. It's not working for them.
It's not working.
This situation isn't working, so we like that.
But he said we've evolved, and it's a social corrective function. So we laugh as a group. We're
we just know that's funny.
Yeah, because it's almost like, when you're hanging out with your mates and you get a bit too big for your boots, and they're like, "Don't be a dick." Do you know what I mean? It's we laugh at that, and it's to keep us from being too big-headed or whatever. Do you think that comedy has the potential to change the way people think, or do you think it could never really change how we think?
They seem like slightly different things, because when you say change the way people think, you then jump to the political comedians.
Not necessarily. It's like, maybe it's like lighten up a bit. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a political thing to think. It could be just like...
But like, what sort of comedy are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, so stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Does your comedy, do you think,
change the way people think?
Or behave or whatever?
Not really. Maybe when they leave at night, they've had a nice time and they're...
Yeah.
But unless they watch you all the time and you become an influence, and then they start thinking like you, or start... I don't think it... I don't know. My gut instinct is it doesn't change their I feel like it's just a nice thing that they've done. I don't think I influence their lives.
I think you do.
I have in
a good way. I think you're a good influence.
I get a lot of people will say things like, I get nice messages because I put a lot of videos up where they say, this bad thing has happened to me.
Yeah.
Your videos helped me through.
Awesome.
Which is beautiful. But has that changed their lives, or just made what they're going through easier? Like, I suppose, I don't think it's changed their life. But I suppose it has changed their life. Not their life, it's changed their mood. But I don't think, I don't know. I don't think, maybe I'm just being humble in that, like, I just think it makes people happy.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know if that changes their life. Maybe it does. Maybe if they watch you every day and you make them happy, it does change their life, because they're not so depressed, or they're not so... But I don't think it's a grand, like, I'm changing lives here.
Yeah. But there's it's good. It's not, you're not hurting anyone, right? It's good to make people feel happy.
And that's how it helps people's mental health.
Yeah.
Which I always find quite interesting with Edinburgh and things like that, with critics and what wins awards, and you get shows where people are talking about mental health and they're really applauded, and it's excellent because it helps people. But you never get the same for a show that's just funny. But you're probably helping more people's mental health than the other show, because you're giving them a break. You're making them happy in that short time where they've not got to think about their problems and not got to worry about anything. But that doesn't really get looked upon in the same way as the other sorts of shows. Like if it's just funny, then they don't care.
Do you think there's potentially like a class element to that? I think like traditionally, like club comedy is sometimes associated with like working class people, but there's like a more middle class kind of that Edinburgh style of comedy. I'd consider it. I look at, because I grew up in Gravesend, so I look at things.
Yeah, I was working class, but
I wonder if there's like an element of like sneering at it, like that's just funny, and it comes back to it not being taken too seriously.
I don't think your comment about club comedy as such, because you've got club comedy in posh towns, you've got club comedy everywhere.
Yeah,
the response is always different, and I do think posh people are like, some can look down upon silly comedy.
Yeah,
because sometimes I get the feeling where they're like, oh, he's just trying to trick us here.
Yeah.
We're too good to be tricked with these jokes.
Yeah,
I look at Monty Python; they're all posh, and they're so silly. But there is the working class and the middle class thing in Edinburgh. But then that's a lot to do with like working class people can't afford to go.
They can't access it, so we're not hearing their voices as much.
But so maybe they're on the club circuit more. But then you've also got posh people doing their acts on the club circuit as well. True. So, but I know what you're saying. Club comedy is, well, if you're looking at the hierarchy or the class system within comedy, I guess club comedy is seen as a lower form to Edinburgh kind of comedy within the industry. Yeah. So then you could say that's the equivalent of working class and middle class in the way you look at it.
And there's barriers
because it's looked down upon, club comedy.
Yeah, and to get to that Edinburgh thing, there's lots of barriers that working class people can't get to because they can't afford to do that. I don't know if there's some opportunity.
Yeah. So I think so I'd say if like a critic would look at a club comedy and look at Edinburgh comedy, well, they would look at club comedy as a lesser thing. Yeah. It's been really interesting.
One thing that with Bergson he was saying about the mechanical thing, And it's interesting, she said you're putting emotion into the setups now. But he actually said that we can't, when we have too much emotion like pity or melancholy or anger, we don't laugh. He actually said they have to be separate. We can use laughter as a coping mechanism.
Yeah. I don't put every emotion into them. Yeah, that is true. Because I can be frustrated.
Yeah.
But if you're angry... Well, actually, no, that's a lie, because you do get comics that are ranting and like Ben Elton or whatever. He's angry when he's... But then do you...
But you're laughing at
Are you... Are you... The performance is angry.
Yeah.
But do you, as an audience, believe he's actually angry in the moment, or do you realise it's a performance and that's why you're enjoying it?
Do you know Eddie Peppertone? Yeah, he's one of my favourite comedians. He's so funny. And he's like ranting about absurd stuff, but he's angry. But he's got a glint in his eye.
Yeah.
And so you're like, he's not angry.
Yeah.
Like, and I think
you can be annoyed at something.
I got annoyed on stage once.
I got genuinely annoyed.
Yeah, I got genuinely annoyed.
And it ruined the gig. Yeah.
Someone was, I was doing this silent bit of comedy. Yeah. And then I was like, if that ever happens again, I'll then say, hey, I got annoyed and make a joke about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone spoke through this thing. And I
still don't think you can recover.
I couldn't recover.
No,
I was so patronising.
I don't think no matter what you do, if the audience genuinely sees anger, I don't think you can come back from it.
And I think it's maybe the same with like actual sadness, or like if they see that and it's too real.
So sometimes I'll do a joke and maybe my acting's too good, and the audience will go, and I'll be like, joke's ruined. Yeah, joke's ruined. Like if I've broken up with a girl, they it's like or something about me. My girlfriend said I'm not very good in bed or something, and they go, it's like, well, the joke's ruined. So but the emotion is you want them to relate to, or it's just the emotion to get them down the path. Yeah. I don't think there are certain emotions I don't think you can genuinely make the audience feel.
So maybe there's something to that, what you're saying there. And we sort of said, do we think that can comedy change people? I think it can. I think I've been influenced by comedians, and it's not necessarily politically. Like sometimes it's just like I think about great bits. Yeah. And I'm doing something and it comes to me.
But is that influencing you, or are you just remembering a bit?
I don't know.
So what would you say has actually influenced you? Because you can say influenced your career or doing comedy. Like you can, do you know what I mean? Like,
so
like Jimmy Carr influenced me when I watched him the first time. But has he influenced my life? Well, yeah, because I've become a comedian.
I think I have been influenced in my life. Like the way I am, like you said, you're more confident.
But like an actual, but like actually, but seeing a comedian hasn't made you more confident. You doing the comedy's made you more confident.
So have
you seen a routine that's changed your life?
Do you know what? Well, I saw someone, so last year, Rob Copland's Edinburgh show. Yeah. Now, I saw him whipping that. He whipped it at my work in progress at my night. And I was like, what's he doing? He was just being really honest and vulnerable. Yeah. And then it was really funny. And he said that he'd done shows with John Kearns and he'd learned that off him. Yeah. And then I started to do that a bit more in my own stuff. And at first it wasn't funny at all, but it made me then, as I said, like saying certain things in front of people and being like...
Oh, so actually in your life...
It actually made me help me... Like, it's the Freudian thing. It helped... Doing comedy helps me process things.
But if you... And I think the answer is the same. Yeah. But if you weren't a comedian... Yes. And you saw him do that... Yeah. Do you think that would have had the same effect if you'd been open in your life to other people? Have you seen him do that?
I'll tell you what happened the other day. I did a show the other day and I had a few messages of people being like, thanks for emailing me. Thanks for doing that. I'm going to try and be more honest. Yeah. And it was true.
But I don't believe anyone watches me and does that. I think you could probably look at, but I don't know whether the actor's done it, but I think you can look at the way, because of the way I've sort of built up my profile now through putting videos out and the kind of the work ethic. Yeah. I guess that people seeing that can influence people. Yeah. But I don't think the act does as such.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you ever think like, I want people to take this away from my act? Or are you just like, I want
my gut instinct is I just want everyone to have a good time. I want them to have the best hour of laughing and talk about it on the way home. And but I wanted to have a really nice time.
Yeah.
And and the fact that I get those messages, I don't do it because I think I was going to get those messages. But it's so nice to know that does have a positive effect as well. Connecting
with people.
Yeah.
Because I think I've heard before that, like, if you're like, I'm going to say this comedy is going to change everyone's minds, I think it probably reconfirms like opinions they already have a lot of the time, or it acts as like a release and stuff like that. But I think what does change people is being with them and connecting and just having a moment together.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes, I think we need more of connection at the moment.
Yeah. I reckon like political kind of acts. I think if someone's very strong on their opinions, I don't think they'll probably change through comedy, watching someone. But maybe if you're going in neutral and you don't know something, and then someone gives an opinion comedically and shows, and you go, oh, that makes sense to me.
Stuart Lee did that for me when I was younger.
That could influence you. Yeah. On that DVD that you lent me and I never gave back.
Yeah, I need that back, man. You remember that?
Yeah. I might have it somewhere.
Before we go, this is a kind of cheesy question, but I'd like to know from you. Is there a joke that you're like, I wish I'd written that?
Oh, I mean, there's just hundreds. There's so many times I watch comedians and be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Like, they're so good. So, I mean, there's not like a specific one, but there's loads of jokes I really like from other people. Lee Mack's got loads I really like in his first DVD.
Yeah.
Really good. I remember my grandmother's final words. She says, "What are you doing in here with that hammer?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just endless. Like so many great jokes. But it kind of that inspires me because sometimes maybe you feel that you've run out. Mm-hmm. I've come up with all the jokes I can come up with. And then you'll hear someone take a topic that you thought about the topic before and they come up with this amazing original joke, and it does inspire you to go, oh, there's loads of jokes out there. I just need to keep working. And then it's like so I just finished Edinburgh and then the process of knowing I've got to write, because next year will be my 18th Edinburgh in a row, and it's like, oh, it's another hour I've got to write. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of bits of inspiration. I wrote 5 jokes, tried them, they worked, and now I'm buzzing again. Right. And I'm like, there's loads of jokes in the world. Yeah. You just got to find them.
Yeah.
So, I love watching people and, seeing good jokes.
And be open. More will come. Relax.
Yeah, that is it.
Don't get stressed.
They will come, yeah. But you do have to line your brain to accept the jokes.
Yeah.
Because I can walk through life and just not think of anything for a week. But so you have to be open to it.
Yeah.
So
I also think I've come to be a bit, obviously you've got to do the work, but I'm trying to be kinder to myself because I've noticed I have periods where I'm right, and like lots of ideas are coming and working, and in periods where they're not. I keep showing up, but it's normally when I'm having fun, when the ideas are coming. And so when they're not coming, I'm like, I need this idea. I need to be doing this. And it's nothing comes because I'm stressed.
I come with a lot of ideas after a gig because of the adrenaline and the buzz, and you're in the environment, and that's a good time to be trying to open your mind to it.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Been my pleasure.
Yeah, it's been good to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Oh, by the way, is there anything you wanted to like plug or anything?
Oh, yeah. I'm on tour from January 2026, and it'll probably be for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And there's loads of dates, marksimmons.co.uk. Yes. And then my podcast is Jokes with Mark Simmons.
Yes.
Which is just breaking down jokes.
It's really good.
It's a bit of fun.
That's it for this week's podcast. Huge thanks to Mark Simmons for that conversation. I'll put links in the show notes to his podcast and his stand-up special on YouTube. Just before I go as well, I want to say a genuine thank you to everyone who's taken the time to leave reviews or send messages. It really does mean a lot. And for those of you who've messaged and say that you can't see your reviews, there seems to be a glitch at the moment with Apple. They're not always showing up properly, but I'm looking into it and I do appreciate it. Thank you. I also want to recommend something. My partner, Zoe Brownstone, has a stand-up special out on YouTube now. So please check that out. There's also a small cameo from me in there. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. And I was thinking about this episode, and I was thinking that, we often hear that comedy is a distraction. from what's going on in the world, and sometimes it probably is, but what if it can also work the other way around? What if constant negative news is the distraction, and art, laughter and connection are actually part of what keeps us human? If you enjoyed this episode, please do share it, subscribe, leave a review. It really helps in these early days and makes a big difference. And if you'd like to join the meditation sessions or support the podcast, you can find everything at patreon.com/the Bardo podcast, or visit my website, marcsalmoncomedy.com. That's it. We'll see you next time in the in-between. Have a good one.